Hello friends, welcome to Watch This Time. I am on the spot every day. Come and share with me today that the 2025 Tesla Model Y next to me is also called the Xinxin Y by everyone. First of all, in terms of volume, Model Y is selling tank vehicles in the entire global electric vehicle market, including the medium-sized SUV field in our entire domestic market. It has also dominated the list all the year round. In terms of overall sales, its entire car series is currently, there are no competitors in the same level, and it is currently divided into two versions, which seem to be the most bought by everyone. In fact, the guide price of the rear-wheel drive version of the Drive next to me is $263,500, and the index price of the four-wheel drive long voyage version is $3,005. In fact, I personally recommend everyone to buy the standard version next to me with the rear wheel version. What is the reason? In fact, Tesla does have a certain price ability at present because his whole device is still a platform of 400 yuan, and the guide price of 260,000 yuan is in our current domestic new energy market. In fact, you can get to a platform of 800 millimeters, including air rotary, including electrical doors and zero neutral seats, which can be given to you. So this leads to my first point of view. That is, if you pursue a particularly comprehensive configuration of new energy, especially the current mainstream configuration level, it will be characteristic. Model Y, this is not suitable for you, including up to his 310,000 Changchang's four-wheel drive. Within the domestic market, reaching the configuration level of this large SUV is impressive, but it doesn't necessarily stand out in overall features. Why then do many users opt for Tesla Model Y? The key lies in its core as an electric vehicle, the innovative advancements in 3 electric technology, battery durability and anti-aging performance, comprehensive safety management, crash resistance, and driving dynamics. These elements, paired with refined control training, make this car truly exceptional. While simple in design, its functionality and user experience are outstanding, as previously explained. It's relatively low, but in fact, as a car, its overall stability is relatively good. Then in terms of the whole current market, this car has actually done it now. In fact, I think it is really an attribute of open and transparent prices in the industry, because if he places an order, you use a mobile app. At present, it is a direct sales mode. Even if you get to the electricity, he will place an order and make an option by asking your mobile phone. And then all car prices include insurance, such as interest and financial installment policies. It is advantageous. It is possible that this car, for example, if you bought it the day before, there will be a big price increase on the second day. There is indeed such a risk, so it is a car with a very distinctive personality. Everyone should choose according to their actual needs and then return to the overall product. The example itself, in fact, compared with his previous old Model Y, his overall improvement is still quite obvious, especially in terms of view, which has also changed a lot. Now you can see that the entire head is also a penetrating style, and the taillights are also a penetrating style. Style and a slow trans-lighting processing method actually feels like, in terms of the entire external configuration, the headlights are LED. The self-credit light display steering function is very good, and the wheels are also equipped with 190 as standard. Of course, this car includes body color and tires, which all support higher specification light selection. You can follow me through the app. Then in terms of car body calculation, the car length 4797289 must be a 15-seater SU. In fact, we still have to combine it. At the current price, it is actually quite good as a midline SUV. The Model Y internal upgrades continue to highlight improvement. First of all, the 2025 Y model is actually mainly positioned as a medium-sized SUV with 5 seats. How does it perform in this positioning space? Actually, I think it's pretty good because the whole feature is full of doctrine. When driving, you can see that the legs are close to 3 full margins, as long as they can be extended forward to install the floor in a completely flat state, although the legs have a certain selection. Empty, but now the entire second row seats have added heating and electric adjustment. In fact, the adjustment range is quite good, but at present, some SUV second row seats at the same price can actually achieve a level close to zero gravity seats. So in terms of its current seat comfort range, I think it is definitely an overall improvement compared to the old model. But compared with some current drives at the same price range, it is definitely not the most advanced level, and in terms of specific configuration. The large panoramic canopy above the head is still retained, and now the overall heat insulation effect has also been improved compared to the old model. In addition, it has been upgraded. Now the entire rear row has an 8-inch empty screen. It actually has a richer set of functions and features. The response speed of the screen in the car is really smooth and can support some games. The music video is actually improved accordingly for home users, but this thing can't be taken off. It doesn't feel like it is particularly convenient to operate, but it is. It is equal to nakedness, and this improvement is more obvious. Then the Type-C charging port and arm mount are provided to you on the air outlet of the rear single air conditioner. In addition, there are soundproof glass in the front and rear rows and privacy glass in the rear row. Generally speaking, the improvement of each row is particularly obvious if compared with the old Model Y, and the new Magic Star Y have improved significantly, and there is some comfort for home users. However, compared with some competing products of the same level, it is still not the most advanced, and there is even a certain gap. You need to come to the front row and tell you what specific configurations you have. I believe many users will say that Tesla's entire internal situation is very simple. Sitting in the entire front row, I actually think. One of the arguments is that, in fact, I think its main feeling is more similar to some trams. That is, it uses this kind of cloth material on a large scale, and the interior will have this kind of home-like feeling. You cannot say that it is particularly cheap, but some drives at the same price will give you a strong sense of luxury. This car must have a sense of luxury, and many areas inside are made of seed hair. I suggest you buy it back. Later, you can modify some internal potential yourself to improve it in an all-round way. Then the entire interior is actually a kind of extreme warfare, because I came to see it. If you are the kind of feature that particularly likes this sense of technology, for example, it is a particularly simple and direct operation mode, which may be more suitable for you. It may be more suitable outside the sky, because I think the whole direction is very simple, including the whole rain view and headlights, all of which are gathered in the direction, and then only one area of a turn signal is reserved here. Then, like the current trams, this car is cancelled directly, and then the whole operation is carried out through screen shifting. Actually, what is its whole idea? He may recognize it in the future. For example, when you are moving forward and reversing requires ordinary switching, he will recognize it through system software. This is one of his ideas. It's just that his software has not been matched at present. For example, this requires a short waiter for everyone, and then in the whole intelligence aspect, the 14.6 English-Chinese control screen and then K resolution is also made of an LCD material. In fact, the clarity and responsiveness are very good because all the entire functions of the feature pool are now integrated on the entire screen, and all functions need to pass through if the blue screen seat has a certain lag, it will actually have some safety impacts on the entire user experience, so the entire stability of the screen must be guaranteed. Due to successful negotiation, I wasn't aware of it until now, so some issues exist with this screen. Regarding stability, the car relies on fewer electronic components, making it simpler and more stable. Compared to the older model, interior features have seen advancement, including a range light, direction electric heating, ventilation and heating for front seats, enhanced storage space, and a 15-yard wireless mobile charging feature. However, there's no upgrade in this aspect, such as with cold air outlets. And frankly, wireless charging for mobile devices isn't very practical, just for convenience. Heating, and then below is a large storage rack, including hands. On the whole, it is quite simple, but the ability is indeed relatively strong, and then it is like an external and rear figure electric heating. In addition, in the whole intelligent driving aspect, if you want to experience its complete operating software of FSD, the price is 64,000 yuan. At present, in the whole domestic market, if it is a LiDAR plus this software, it is about 30,000 yuan, which is about 30,000 yuan in Huawei's whole car, so 64,000 yuan here is actually quite expensive. Of course, if you have needs for the entire city, it can actually be used at high speed with LR and full data self-credit aviation. This is free, and the configurations of the two versions are actually exactly the same. The main difference is in terms of power, the standard version is a front-mounted and rear horsepower lithium iron phosphate battery of CITL with 62.5 degrees, and then the long navigation version is a front-mounted and rear-mounted dual battery 450 with a 78.4 degree 3 UN lithium battery. The reduced pure telecom aviation range reaches 593 and 719 kilometers respectively. Significantly, the entire system operates on a 400-volt platform. Furthermore, the chassis is devoid of air rotation, featuring double B in front with rear adjustments. Compared to the previous model, Tesla's heart-changing Y demonstrates remarkable upgrades in chassis tuning, ensuring enhanced 7-way support and refined steering feel, delivering a sense of standardization and solid performance. This kind of training orientation, otherwise it is special. It's hard to say that Model Y has done a relatively good average. I think it's worth performing and drives well, but then again, the configuration is indeed low because you refer to the current configuration he is given. You go and pull it. At present, some domestic self-service brands, based on their selling price, you will find that this car has a very high capacity, so there is a risk in buying it. It is the most transparent sales device currently available, but it also means that if you buy a car today, you will know tomorrow that its price will increase sharply, and you will have to bear such risks. But if you are interested in an essential part of an electric car, such as stability and 3 electric control, as I elaborated earlier, if what you are aiming for is this type of enduring stability coupled with an impressive overall retention rate, then Tesla, along with this prominent star, would likely be a more fitting choice for you.